because I refuse to not be first.
Do we do enough? Well, I never shut up about it.
It must have been about 16, 17. We nicked their guilt rings. Right, the bouncer's guilt ring.
This is no good for me. That's the reality. If you want the honest truth, and I see it every day.
It's Joe Pugh for IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Everlast. Delighted to be joined by Harley Benn. I must say, Harley, I'm impressed. Just over a week and you're back in the gym. But first of all, obviously it didn't go your way out in Dubai. Just over a week removed, how are you feeling?
Do you know what, I've taken the past week to make some peace with it. Obviously you saw how confident I was coming up to the fight. Even how confident I was walking to the ring. I was confident right the way through. But the better man really did win on the night. He took me to school a little bit. Most boxers won't admit that in a loss, but he did. I mean, I'm still learning on the job. Will I lose again in my career? Probably. Like I'm someone that started boxing at the age of 20. I love to fight, and that's what I'm doing. We stepped up against someone that's never lost, an undefeated southpaw, and he was better than I thought he was. We had a great little build up. It was good fun. We done the most numbers on views the whole week. And yeah, I enjoyed it, but yeah, obviously I'm gutted. I didn't want to lose, and that wasn't the plan. I thought we was going to cause a nice upset out there, but we didn't, and we move on.
You've never lied about your situation. You've always said that you've never had that amateur career. You've never come from a white-collar background. You're learning on the job. So what positives can you take from your experience against Fazan?
Do you know what? He was a very nice boxer, and it gave me... I hadn't been... Well, firstly, before that fight, I'd only fought 4-rounders. And leading up to this fight, I'd only had one 4-rounder in 3.5 years. So, firstly, the ring experience of 7 rounds was good. I didn't believe I was going to get stopped, but I watched it back and it was the right decision by far. I was taking far too many shots. But it's not how you feel taking the shots, it's how it looks to the ref, how it looks to everyone else and whatnot. I felt like I was comfortable taking his shots. Don't get me wrong, he snapped my head back a good few times. And a few of them did hurt around the body and slowed me down and whatnot. But to summarise, what I took away from it was a whole heap of experience, mate. Being one of the co-main events, more rounds against a slick, undefeated guy. So, yeah, mate, we took good experience away from that.
Do you think in time that loss will age well, and do you think Fazan can go on and really do something in the sport?
I would... probably shouldn't say... I would like to fight him again. The only reason I say that is because I believe I had an off night, and that's not me saying that even if I didn't have an off night, would I beat him? I don't know. So, but we were scheduled to fight last November. I went out all the way to Dubai, and on the day him and his team pulled out for whatever reasons, political reasons and whatnot. So I do believe they should give me another chance. But if they don't, then yeah, I believe Fazan will move on and go and do good things in the sport, because he's, like I said, he's better than what I thought. But yeah, he's not amazing, I'll be honest, but he's better than what I thought. So yeah, I do believe he will get to a certain level in the sport.
Obviously, it was kind of 6 months in the making in the end. And then after the fight, I know we done an interview with Andy, he said, called you a little bitch still, he said you're living in your dad's shadow. Were you disappointed to hear that? Because so many times we see in boxing, beef in the build-up, but then you leave it all in the ring and there's a respect there. So was there a little bit of disappointment that he wouldn't leave it?
This is the annoying thing. So I left the ring, obviously, and I didn't hear his interview and whatnot, like his post-fight interview. And I actually went and into his change room. I was like, listen, I want to go and see Fazan. We've just had a 6-month rivalry. Let me go and see him. Went and shook his hand, told him well done. But if I'd have knew he'd done that before the fight, before I'd done that, I probably walked into his change room and nutted him. I'll be honest with you, because that's muggy. We had a good fight build up. But yeah, if I didn't know before I went in his changing room, I didn't know he was talking that shit on the post-fight interview, because I probably, like I said, would have gone into his changing room with different intentions.
Have you spoke to him since you've heard that interview over social media or anything?
No, I blocked him because he put a reel up of me getting triple uppercutted and I didn't want to see it. I was like, yeah, nah. I got to block him. I was like, I can't see that. It was literally, I got hit with a triple uppercut with the same hand. No one wants to be fucking hit with that, mate. Not because it hurts, but because it's your fucking bong bones, you know what I mean? And I saw that, I was like, no, I've got to block him for a while. I'll unblock him again soon, when the dust settles.
Look, it looks like you're in good spirits. You are laughing about it. And it is obviously tough to take a defeat, but as you say, you're still learning. You might take more defeats in your career, but as I said at the top of the interview, very impressive that you're back in the gym so soon. So, obviously, it needs to take a bit of time, but what would you like to be next?
There's a few things I would like, mate. Obviously, since I've taken this loss, there's been people calling me out, which I knew there would be, whether I won or I lost. I knew that there was going to be people that would come for me. I've had Nathaniel Wilson Eubank come for me the day after my loss, but to be honest, he's been coming for me and I've been going for him for the past 3 or 4 years, so I'd really like to get that over the line pretty soon, because he's getting oldish to be a boxer. I think he's like 34 now, so, and he's been inactive for a while, so he needs to hurry up, because I would take that fight within the next 8 weeks. Someone else, I've got my Joe Laws, the Benwell bomber. Listen, I like Joe, to be fair. I can't say I don't like him. He makes me laugh. He's wished me luck in the past. I've wished him luck in the past. But I feel like we've both had two losses in our career. And we both know how to sell a fight. And I believe that would be a really good avenue as well. Or who knows, go and clean up the Misfits division. We don't know. I just like to fight. Listen, I'm not here to saying, I've never once in an interview said, I'm going to be the next world champion, I'm going to be the next this, I'm going to be the next Nigel Benn, I'm going to be the next Conor Benn. I've never said that. I've always said I'm in my own lane, and wherever that takes me, as long as I'm fighting and entertaining, I'm happy.
Yeah, I will touch on that Misfits, because I think it was just hours after the fight you did put out on your Instagram story kind of a call to Misfits. It was the same night as KSI. I was at the KSI fight and Joseph Eubank was there, and we just briefly spoke off camera. It looks like he might be entering that space. I don't want to say too much, but it's another Eubank Benn name, and it's a fight where you put their names in the mix, it'll always sell, won't it?
I think so, mate. Whether at whatever level it is, you know, Ben Eubank at novice level, Ben Eubank at world level, Ben Eubank at Misfits level, you know, it's just a family feud that people will want to tune into, you know. And like I said, I'm not here saying, or I'm going to be this or I'm going to do that. I'm just here to be the best that I can be, and if that means going to work on Misfit shows and playing a big part in that, then that's my fate, mate. And I wouldn't take any kind of. There's a lot of people I see. You get a lot of stigma. People, the YouTubers, this and that, mate. A lot of these YouTubers have done bigger transformations than a lot of pro boxers. They're bringing more eyes to the sport, more money to the sport. I think it's great what they're doing, and I'd love to be a part of it.
Could you flip between the two? Because we're seeing pro boxers, undefeated boxers, name comes to mind, Idris Virgo. He's gone to Misfits now, and he said, look, it would be open to a potential return to the pro scene. So is that another avenue you could maybe flip between the two, wherever the opportunity comes?
That's it, mate. It will be wherever the opportunity comes. If the opportunity comes on Misfits and whatnot, and because, like you said, people that are involved in YouTube scene have professional licenses. Some of them come from a professional background. Idris Virgo, I think, if I'm honest with you, like me and Idris, we don't really get on. I think he's just going where the clout is and chasing the money, which I don't blame him. It's a hard sport, but forget the clout, chase the money. But I believe you could say to him, yeah, go and be a pro now and you'll get paid this, or you'll get this much cut, run back straight over to the pro ring. I'm probably not best to ask my opinion on him, to be honest. But Tommy Fury, he's started off in the pro ranks. Now it looks like he's going down this YouTube Misfits route, which I don't blame him after his last paycheck. But we'd have some of that as well. I would fight anywhere between super welter and light heavy on that scene. So it leaves us with big options, you know.
Listen, we were just speaking off camera about your mum kicking off at the press conference. They need characters like your mum on Misfits. She'd fit right in as well.
Honestly, don't. I'll get my mum a 4-rounder on Misfits. Honestly, she had a little argument in Dubai, and I was thinking, don't. Yeah, turned out it was the promoter's wife. Yeah. And thinking, do not drop the C-bomb, because she loves that word. Yeah. And I was thinking, you can't do that out here. And she didn't. But I think, going to the press conference, we stole the show at the press conference. We got the most views, we got everything. So listen, I love the whole thing about boxing, the build-up. And if I suit better on Misfits, cool, I suit better on Misfits. That doesn't... I had to make peace with a lot from last weekend. I had to realise the level that I was at and where I can go. So we're going to see now. We're not jumping into anything right now. Literally... only been back a week, just over a week in the country. Started training and ticking over again today. So we're just going to see, and then we'll get into it. Whether it's on Misfits, pro ranks, whatever. I'm down to fight anyone. So, yeah.
Last thing, just want to get your reaction to your brother Connor's little scuffle with Kell Brook at the weekend. Should make an absolutely massive fight. Let's hopefully see that fight in the UK though.
Yeah, I would hope that it would be in the UK, if I'm honest. I feel like that fight has got to be on British soil if it was to happen. Ben Brook, however it's marketed, I feel like it's got to happen on British soil. But even if it didn't, it would still get a lot of tune-ins and whatnot. But it looked like there was a real bit of needle there. It's hard for me in them situations, because most people, like, if you push me, I'm not sitting there having none of them pushing matches. I'm throwing punches straight away. I don't care where I am. Like, I'm not doing this pushing stuff and whatnot. So it's hard for me, yeah, like, they had a little scuffle and that, but for me, I can't lie. If anyone touches me outside of a ring, I'm getting it cracking instantly, because I get it's a defence mechanism. All this pushing and shoving that these lot do sometimes, I'm like, have a row, mate, or throw a dig, like, and I believe Connor would have. Like, Connor looked like it was Kell that looked a little bit startled, but yeah, I don't know about all that pushing stuff. I don't know, just because if people inside a ring, you know, someone's there, it's okay for them to do that. I feel anyone putting their hands on you outside a ring is a violation, and I'm throwing punches to the head. So yeah, but what I make of it is it would be a good fight. And I believe Connor stops him in 4 rounds. And that's not taking anything away from Kell. I just think Kell's well past it now.
Harley, listen, thank you very much for taking your time out, speaking to me today, and obviously open up after your loss. Is there anything else you'd like to mention before we finish?
Just a massive thank you to everyone at Edge Gym, Will Jones, Let's Go Management, my sponsors, New and J. O'Sullivan Group. And thank you to you for always being a good interviewer.
Harley, hopefully we see the real rebuild soon. Thank you very much.
Cheers, mate.
Because I refuse to not be first.
Do we do enough? Well, I never shut up about it.
It must have been about 16, 17. We nicked their guilt rings. Right, the bouncer's guilt ring.
This is no good for me. That's the reality. If you want the honest truth, and I see it every day,